Hello everyone, it's Free-to-Play Bust with Expedition number 17 coming up. Our Ezreal Heimerdinger run didn't quite go as well as we thought. The deck didn't come together quite how I expected it to. We were in the cloning program mixed with Ezreal, which I expected to be the Elnix deck, and it just wasn't. It was just trying to get me to copy stuff and put it back in my deck, which I thought was odd. I was pretty sure that Ezreal with Piltover Demacia set was Elnix, and I guess I was just wrong. Maybe you need to be on the Demacia side on the champion for that to be Elnix. But at any rate, we're moving on to the next one. Let's see, here's another Ash Pile with the Frostbite theme. It's an okay set. It's good to be starting with the Iceveil Archer. He's one of the premier 2-drops, and Starlit Seer's okay. He's not my favorite, but he's a reasonable unit. In my opinion, if you're able to get one bonus off of him, then he's a pretty well valued 2-drop. Here, I don't like counterfeit copies. This was that cloning program deck we were in for the last round, and this is what I mean. See how it's Demacia Piltover, or Freylord Piltover, I'm sorry. But you might need to be the Freylord champion for this to be the Elnix deck. Otherwise, I don't really want to just be copying back alley bouncers. If I'm in Ezreal, I want to be doing Ezreal things, where we're just casting a bunch of spells. Really leads more towards wanting to play Heimerdinger. And I think that's just kind of you either want to be in really aggressive Ezreal, or you want to be in really control decky Heimerdinger. And I don't think we just want to be doing this cloning program stuff. And then here, this Darius pile is pretty strong. These are both pretty good units. I don't really like Grenadier. There's just so many value 1-drops that he trades for. But all in all, this is a pretty good stack. I'm going to take this Darius pile here. And then for our second set, Teemo's not the worst with Darius. I don't like a lot of the top end in Darius, and Teemo kind of fills in there where we're trying to get in, 3, maybe, we've done our aggressive thing. Our opponent is probably not trying to be as aggressive as us, so they're kind of coming back on board. And then Teemo's kind of there to get in the last, 3 or 4 damage with these Puffcaps. Here, I don't think this Tryndamere pile plays well with Darius. If we had taken Ashe, then this would have been a great pile. We would have, the 2 Frostbites with the Stalking Wolf, which play extremely well together. But I'm not a huge fan of just this Frostbite control deck unless we are paired up with like Thresh. I think you really need the control style cards that come from Shadowlands. And then here, this is also a reasonable pile to pair with Darius, but I think I'm going to just go with the Teemo. We do like the Radiant Strike, but we should be coming across a lot of combat tricks. And, I think Mystic Shot is just way better than Radiant Strike, and the Defender's okay, but I think I kind of want to just get this together with this Teemo package within Darius and just kind of see how it goes. I never really feel like I want to be doing like bounce themes with Teemo. It's just too much time for not enough return on your investment. So here, this is a reasonable pile. I don't really like the Scavenger. I think we're going to be heavier Noxus than we are Piltover, but Sunfork's map does play extremely well with the Noxus cards. I just don't think we're going to hit it enough in this style of deck. This is the pile we're going to be looking to take. Might is a very good finisher. You usually end the games getting some kind of chump block on like a 5/4 with a 1 toughness unit, and you might get in for 6. And then this pile, shit. shit. This was not the pile we wanted. I was about to just talk about how we didn't want this pile because it's too expensive and not what we're wanting to do. Oops. Okay, so we just ended up with the Tavern Keeper and the Pledge. We did not want this. We wanted the Might and the Rear Guard. But too late now. That has happened, and we're just moving on from that. And so let's see how this ends up. This is okay. The Prodigy is a very good aggressive unit, and then this is the only elusive we'll have access to, which is okay. He's not as good as Shadow Assassin, but he's fine. This is more of a pile I'm interested in. Just way more aggressive with the Trifarian than this Aeronaut could ever be. But this one is also kind of interesting. Brittle Steel, great combat trick, and I do like Entreat. Especially, like, it's not, great with Teemo, but it is great with Darius. If we're able to just not play as many expensive units because we have access to Entreat. But that aside, I'm still just going to take this 2 and 3 drop pile. Here, this is another great one. It's got a 2-drop and a Whirling Death. This is our kind of premier way to interact with our opponent's units. These are Vladimir cards that we don't want. Crimson Awakener will kill a lot of our units. And I don't like Mushroom Clouds. I don't think Mushroom Cloud is a playable card. So we'll take the Grenadier and the removal spell. And here. Okay, this is okay, but this is a little slow. We want this just in the Frostbite theme. These are too slow as well. If this was like Entreat with a 1-drop, I'd be more willing to consider it. And this one's okay. We don't have a lot of spells so far to use with the Peddler, but we have some. We should hopefully be picking up some more Mystic Shots, maybe some more Whirling Deaths. We should have enough spells to trigger this, 1, 2, 3 times, and he's a reasonable body on his own. Okay, this is the kind of pack I do not like. I don't really like getting stuck with 2 expensive cards in one pack. I think we run into too many times to where, say, we would have, say, like Legion Grenadier in one of these 5s. Then I think it just makes your deck get a little bit too top heavy. But looking at these other cards, we don't really want these Mushroom Clouds. Eager Apprentice is a pretty strong unit, but Mushroom Cloud is extremely bad. And we are kind of okay with Ancient Yeti. He cheapens himself up as the game goes along. So he's not like a true 7-drop. He's pretty good, especially if he's in your opener and you're able to play him, say like on turn 4 for 3 mana. And then, we're happy with more Whirling Deaths. Okay. Here, we're not doing pack mentality things. These are okay, but they're not particularly exciting. These are more the Curator's like a Vladimir card. We aren't really a deck looking for Tavern Keeper. These are okay. These are both just 2 good combat tricks. I'm a real big fan of Brothers Bond, and Spell Force is pretty okay as well. Interesting. This is another really strong combat trick pack. I'm kind of interested in this one. The Chump Wump is okay. He's a reasonably bodied 4-drop with the Mushroom Clouds. I don't really like Thermogenic Beam, and especially when we have 2 Whirling Deaths, our units should be bigger than our opponents. We should be able to just kind of Whirling Death instead. We aren't interested in these packs again, so we'll take the Elixir and the Might. Which one are you? Okay. Here, I don't like Shiraza. It's just too expensive, and usually if you have a board state to where you're able to get this in for the double damage, you've probably already won anyways. If we had the second Might instead of misclicking that one pack, it would be a little bit more interesting, but I don't quite feel like that's what we're wanting. Although we are getting a little heavy on... Yeah, I'm just going to take this pack. 3 Whirling Deaths is probably the most we'd ever want, but we are pretty hurting for 1-drops. We only have 2 right now. That one pick was really kind of rough, where we took the Bloodsworn Pledge and some other random ass card, the Tavern Keeper, for what was a Rearguard and a Might. It's pretty unfortunate. Okay. These are the kind of picks I've mentioned before where I like, you know, we'll run into these frequently where we'll have a 2 and a 6, and this is how we like to end up with our 6 drops. But let's take a look at these other cards real quick. The problem kind of here with the Reckoning is we aren't really big on the top end, that 5 power thing. Like, we only have one Trifarian, the Reckless one. We have Darius. Outside of that, we don't really have things that survive the Reckoning. But it still could be a reasonable pick. I don't like Unscarred Reaver here. He's just more of a Vladimir card. And these aren't exciting. If this was Chump Wump than anything else, we'd be interested in it, but I don't really want this Scavenger. But we are pretty light on top end. We don't have any units that cost 4 at this point. We'll take it and just try to cycle him out at some point. Okay, this is a pretty strong set of ones here. These are control deck cards, which we aren't doing. These are Vladimir cards. Death Lotus is okay, but not quite what we're trying to do. We'll take the 1-drop with the combat trick. Here, which are these? I think we want this just 1-drop and combat trick again, although we are going to be pretty heavy on combat tricks. We're going to have, let's see, 1 elixir. That would give us 3 Brothers Bonds to be up to 4. And then Might would be 5. That's not the worst. I do really like these rear guards. The rear guards are so much better than the Saboteurs. And the Grenadier is on the weaker side of the 2-drops. I'd be stoked if all the Legion Grenadiers we had were the guy that gives you 2 spell mana. But it's not where we're at. We'll just take this rear guard and Brothers Bond. Okay, this should be easy. We'll take the Mystic Shot pile. Not exactly excited to have Cavern Keepers, but how many 3s do we have? The Scarthane Stefan is a reasonable just battler. Because he doesn't take damage to have to be good. What do we have? We got a Tavern Keeper, a Puffcap Peddler, and a Trifarian, and that's it. These are pretty reasonable 3-drops, but I just think Mystic Shot's so good. Okay, we'll take the Mystic Shot. And let's see. Savage Reckoner is pretty good on the top end, but I'm actually kind of okay with having this Puffcap Peddler. I don't want the Tavern Keeper. Harsh Winds could be pretty strong. I think it's a combat trick you won't expect to see out of Noxus decks too often, and it should give us, you know, a great late game combat. Okay, we can keep the 2-drop and get rid of everything else. We could consider even getting rid of this. I think we will. I think it's just going to be so much more important to actually find a 1-drop as opposed to just having a random 2-drop. We didn't find any 1s, which is unfortunate. And here's the reason why I don't like these Legion Grenadiers. It's just, you know, such an auto block with this, and then they're getting at both ahead on mana and getting ahead on value. So I'm just going to get the rear guard down because he can actually attack, and then we can Mystic Shot if he plays some kind of reasonable unit. That's reasonable enough to hit with a Mystic Shot.
Ready.
Keeper is fine.
Reporting in.
Here again, we aren't able to block. I don't want to play this Grenadier because it's just going to trade with the Warden's Prey, and I'd rather bank this 2 spell mana to try to Mystic Shot something. We'll be open on our turn, but just dropping Chump Wump.
Put on me mask, secure me tail, start the day.
Okay, that seems pretty good for us. As long as he doesn't have some kind of sacrifice card, we're looking okay.
I wanna go home!
Sure. And he'll get the card out of this. It's, you know, 1-for-1 trade with the thing that he just played, but it'll protect our chump. And then we're building up to a pretty reasonable Harsh Winds on our next attack, assuming... oh, I thought he blocked with the Cursed Keeper. Okay, okay. Let's try to get some of these Puffcaps going.
Mushrooms could talk. Or wumps, am I right? Would a mushroom help?
That's okay. We'll take the 1 damage. I don't want to get Black Speared here. The 1 damage isn't super scary.
Where's my axe?
And here we should have a pretty strong Harsh Winds. This open attack's going to be good, and this is going to be pretty bad for him unless he has some combat tricks to get going here. And I don't even care to just lose 1 unit to this combat trick. That's not very scary.
Please, I have connections!
Okay, that's probably the best vengeance we'll get in our life.
They got past me.
As soon as this is gonna die, he's gonna play Black Spear on something. Yeah. That's fine. Go ahead and get this dude down. I'm gonna go ahead and play these 2 Mushroom Clouds to put 16 Puffcaps in his deck. And this is kind of the point where, I mean, it doesn't really look like it in this game because his board's been so weak. But this is kind of what we're getting at with the Puffcaps is, you know, imagine he had a good board here. When he's on his 7 mana turn, he should be having, you know, 3 3s and 4 4s that makes these blocks just terrible, and we're just trying to do just a touch of damage with these Puffcaps to seal it out, now that our aggression shouldn't be as good. I'm cool with just go ahead and getting everything out, stacking up Puffcaps as hard as we can. I don't think he can do a whole lot to us here. There's no need to Harsh Winds at this point. We can do it next turn. Okay, that'll almost certainly wrap it up. So we should get any lifesteal, we'll get in for 5. That should just do it. Oh, okay, I've got my champion thing. I'm gonna go and switch my region rewards again real quick. So let's see what it gives to us here. Basilisk Rider is okay. He's I do like this as an allegiance card because he's still okay as a unit if you don't hit his allegiance. But let's see, we're going to avoid this Draven pile. Flame Chompers just doesn't do anything we're wanting to. If we want a Reckoner, we can probably find one. Here, I think I'm just going to take this Teemo pile. I think the Chump Wump is a lot better than the Basilisk Rider. I think we have one Might, and then we have a stack of other combat tricks. We have 3 Brothers Bonds and an Elixir of Wrath, so we aren't really looking for Might. And so I'm just going to pick up this Teemo here, really try to solidify getting a 1-drop. Because spending all our mana in the early game is pretty key for what we're doing. Okay, so we got a 1 and a 2. I'm going to get rid of this Brothers Bond, just kind of look for another unit, and we'll hang on to Mystic Shot. Should be better interaction for us than the combat trick.
They won't get past me.
Let's definitely attack.
I'll do better this time.
This is a pretty strong opener. He doesn't have a 1. We should be able to just Mystic Shot his units. Let's get the Hopeful down. I have to assume that he'll have another unit here, but if we're able to just pull off a Mystic Shot attack, this would be huge. Draven. So if we get a trade for Draven, that would be absolutely great. Otherwise, he's taking a huge blasting of damage here. And the Draven hit back, it's not that scary. Like, taking a Zed hit and having Zed flip is scary. Having Draven hit is not. He just gets the +1/+1 and like stuff you don't care about. Like,
Time for the moneymaker. Watch and learn.
who do we play here? I think we want to get this Chump Wump online.
Put on me mask, secure me tail, start the day.
Okay. Let's see, I don't have a way to directly interact with that. I think we're definitely playing the Trifarian, and let's see what he does. Okay. Thresh doesn't have really great blocks here. Let's see if we can combat trick him down. That was expected. Okay, good deal. That's fine as well. You have to assume he's going to Spinning Axe as Thresh. Brothers Bond, sure, it's the same thing. And who do we want to boost? I think we want to boost this little guy, because we may need to block with Chump Wump. And blocking Draven with Chump Wump, the bonus attack isn't going to do anything. Could have just killed him. I could have. Fuck me. I was too busy trying to be cute and missed lethal. Alright, well let's at least start deploying these mushroom clouds. See if we can't get a rage victory here off the Puffcaps. Oh, that was brutal. I didn't realize I had him quite that low. Oh, now I've got to deal with this shit. Okay. Let's play a Yeti. He's a pretty decent block here. I think we can pretty safely take this Draven hit. Man. Missing lethal is not the play of the day.
Now we're cooking.
We'll take 7 from Draven, which is okay. We shouldn't be dying here.
Thought I was already
I want to get the Grenadier down now. We're just going to want to play all our units and try to represent 7 damage. Okay, that's a pretty good pickup. Should just be able to kill his Draven, or seeing how things go, kill this before it can lifesteal. Let's get our biggest damage on the board.
I can't believe what Pilties throw away. Explosives primed.
Okay.
Okay, ready.
And also, if he puts something in front of the Yeti, we can also Whirling Death onto him.
Timing is everything.
No, ready for slaughter.
It's going to stun this, which is fine. He'll have 2 mana left, but only 1 card. I think we can probably pretty safely kill the Soul Gorger. And then we'll hit for 4 for the kill. Okay, didn't get punished from this, but little on the not awesome side. Oh, I meant to switch my rewards. That's okay, it's not a huge deal. So let's see, this is a pretty good trade for us, getting rid of the Tavern Keeper for the Trifarian. He's just one of the real beefy aggressive units, something that lets us pull off. We didn't take the 6 cost thing, but if you have a 5 cost thing, it kills everything with 4 or less power. Excuse me. Oh, sorry, I was a little slow on the mute. I knew I was going to sneeze there. But yeah, this is a good trade. I'm kind of interested in keeping this Harsh Winds. We have a lot of offensive tricks, but Noxus doesn't really have defensive tricks. And I think this can be pretty good if we're getting in combat with some of our larger units and just kind of getting a 2-for-1 on the attack. And this could be a reasonable trade, but I think we're kind of in a good spot with top end. We don't have very much of it, and so the Glory Seeker is good, but I think this upgrade up here is going to be a lot better. Let's see, this is kind of similar to the last set. I'm okay with mulliganing away these like 2-drops because we really want 1s, and we'll probably just hit another 2 anyways. And that was kind of one of the weaker 2s.
They won't won't get past me.
This hand's a bit awkward. We typically rather have a unit to play on 2 than a Mystic Shot, but it's all around pretty fun.
Okay, ready.
I don't like this unit. I don't like seeing. It sucks to spend a spell on it, and we don't really want him playing Yetis for 3 mana. And so I'm still just going to keep passing this here. But there's a lot of times we just get punished for doing this. Okay, well, I guess he did it for us. I'm okay with letting him just draw the 2 cards. You can counterspell that with Mystic Shots, but I don't think that's quite necessary here. Okay, let's keep our big dudes rolling through.
The egg. Did it move? I'll do better this time. You have to get me out of here.
I mean, that's not the greatest turn for us, but it's fine. It's gonna Black Spear. Okay, there's nothing we can do about that. But he's still not really adding to the board. It's a pretty good unit here. He'll play pretty well with this Bloodsworn Pledge.
If they're out there, I'll spot them. Reporting in? For the homestead! For the Empire!
Now the question is, do we want to go ahead and Mystic Shot this Sentry so we don't have to spend a spell on our block next turn? Which I don't think we do. Like, what else are we going to do with our mana next turn? Like, if we draw a 3-drop, then we're just going to be banking 2 mana anyways. So I'll just save it in case we go face with it. We already have a Might, so there's a good chance we're going to be doing a lot of just going face.
Okay, ready. Look out for Reavers.
I think I just want to boost 2 units here. Like, I'm going to want to do this. And then do we want to go ahead and just like brother spawn 2 units like these 2? Or, that seems a little greedy. I would like to get in this extra damage though. If he's going to have an empty board, if he just has 1 unit, we're probably going to have a pretty good Might. Let's do it. Let's spend some of this mana.
Alert the village! The calm before the streams.
Okay. Not a huge fan of him getting all this width. But I should be able to get a pretty good brother spawn. Like, I should be able to just kind of burst him out. This is that spot I talk about where,
Sacrifice for a greater cause.
you know, I kind of like the Puffcaps, because it's reasonable to think we can get in like 6 or 7 damage next turn. Oh shit, that was a big pickup. Probably gonna have to Mystic Shot this to protect my guys. Yeah, this is where we just want like a little bit more Puffcap damage. But
Don't be afraid.
we don't care about this. We would like to kind of get in a Whirling Death onto Thresh. But if he doesn't attack with Thresh, then we can Whirling Death this Rampang Wolf. We just don't want to lose any units here. this is... We're gonna have to do this because this is how this board is paired out. But we're just gonna have to go all in on a unit and Brothers Bond it and Might it and hope that's enough. If we get Frostbitten, we get Frostbitten. There's not really anything we can do about it. I think, how much is this gonna cost? 7? So we can play the Trifarian. I can't imagine he'll get like a much better blocker here. This is kind of painful if he has like the Frostbite everything card. Okay. So let's see how he blocks here.
I'll do better this time.
If he doesn't use his Yetis, then we can maybe get the so what's this, 5, 8, 10? So we'll trample for 7 and Mystic Shot. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's see this champion pick here. These are reasonable Darius cards, but I don't really want like Basilisk Rider. I think just at a glance I'm kind of more interested in these other things. Well, let's see. Our top end is kind of okay. I'm not sure if I want like Intimidating Roar though. I really like it when, you know, it's our turn and we're just open attacking. It usually kind of does the same thing as opposed to just playing Intimidating Roar. But, you know, if we have a pretty wide board, they should just be getting, you know, 1 additional unit in. On these other ones, Thermogenic Beam is kind of okay. We don't really have any ways to directly interact with our opponent, and I'm okay with adding in more Teemos. Just to get this, you know, aggressive 1-drop on board. And this pile over here is actually pretty reasonable. We aren't a Draven deck, but Draven is still good on his own. You know, just a 3/3 quick attack for 3 is not a bad deal. And then we may not be using Spinning Axes, but we do have a whole bunch of Chump Wumps, and it'll give us a chance to, you know, it just gives us more options to where if we want to do stuff with Spitting Axe, we can usually just be discarding Mushroom Clouds to it. And I do really like Kato the Arm. I think he's a pretty exceptional unit. But what's our 1-drop count look like here? We've got 3 rear guards. I think I just really want more 1-drops. I think I'm pretty happy with this Teemo pile here. Oh, an update is available. Okay, round 4. Okay, we'll definitely keep Teemo here and then look for just more early units. Not real jazzed about starting with Ancient Yetis, but I don't know when else you would want them. Just really looking for something to continue the curve beyond Teemo. Not excited about him, but he should do it.
Reporting in.
This should be a pretty reasonable attacker against
border from here.
that deck. No, it's a sentry.
never
We'll
know
still
what
just get it
hit
off the board.
Ready the torches. Worthy end.
Okay. Drew into pretty reasonable curve. Yeah, I was kind of worried about him. I'm gonna want to Brothers Bond to kill this, which sucks quite a bit, but I don't think I can just leave his Stalking Wolf on the board. So bad for us if this like eats Teemo and then eats a Puffcap Peddler. Like we just can't be doing that. It'll at least turn this rabbit into a reasonable threat. I think we're gonna be playing Trifarian into Chumpwump, so this isn't super scary.
Push on without me.
Nothing can stop me.
And kind of the thing with our board here as well is these Chumpwumps, you can frostbite them, but you can't hit them with Brittle Steel. So they might be pretty safe attacks. Then if he wants to spend a Brittle Steel on this Snow Hare, I think that's okay. But I think a lot of times he has a hard time doing combat with these 5/4 and 4/4s. Okay. Wonder why he would do it right there. Like, maybe he just doesn't want me to attack with it. I would think he would want to block something with this and then frostbite. But maybe he's okay with just eating the Snow Hare. Okay.
Remember the fallen!
Sure. Still can't really tango with our units. And the Teemo, cool. So I mean, I'd be okay with either getting Chumpwump and Teemo or the Yeti and Teemo on board here. Just kind of flip him at will. Okay, with him playing a 4/5, I want to get this Yeti online. Then we will, assuming he doesn't have anything next turn, we'll be able to get this Teemo online and flip next turn. We should maybe be able to double Puffcap him. Oh, this feels pretty strong for us.
Another day in the field.
I'll pick 'em, you plan 'em, kid.
I should have played Teemo on his turn. That was silly to wait until this turn, but okay, so let him battle. Can we still do everything? Yeah.
I stand for Noxus.
Have a mushroom. Have 3.
I've heard about you.
Okay, so I think we're just going to do these two. This is only going to get a trade with him. but we're going to get a bunch of Puffcaps on him
Oh,
this
that's
turn.
a harvest right there.
There they go.
Success is planting your mushroom plant.
You would test my steel?
That's what stings.
So what's he up to now? 40? So she's taking almost 2 damage a turn from these Puffcaps. Okay, this seems like a pretty good spot. If he hasn't really dealt with Teemo at this point, I just have to assume he's going to have a really hard time dealing with Teemo.
Many tribes, one Freljord.
Okay.
Think I'm still like a yodel in uniform.
We'll take what we want!
These seem like terrible attacks. I'll just go for the value block, and then if he tries to play a trick, I'm okay with whirling deathing. Oh, sure. I mean, that's even fine. So I guess he can get a frostbite on this next turn, which is okay.
Grow free.
Use 16 more of those. Where's that heavy man? It's a little better than 2 damage a turn. You have to be pretty safe and just get everything in. I assume this is going to get like Brittle Steeled, but otherwise, like, I'd much rather have Brittle Steel this Yeti than this Teemo.
Bold, aren't you?
Guess it depends on
Rulers, stay
how this
back.
pans out. He's looking to just take infinite damage here. Okay. Okay, so let's see what this next pick here. I'm not really looking to move. I'm definitely not moving my curve up for They Who Endure. We just don't really need this. I don't think we'll get a huge value out of this Assessor. I feel like this is more of a Vladimir card. We're going to try to draw 2 or 3. It could be okay. I mean, it plays alright with like Chump Wumps, but I don't think we're just really looking to draw a bunch of cards. I think the game will be over before we really get value out of those. And I don't want any of these. I'm not trading an Eager Apprentice for a 5-drop. Let's get round 5 underway. Okay, we've got a selection of 1-drops here. I'm going to try and just smooth out my curve. I'm going to get rid of this. Do I want to get rid of the Saboteur? He's playing... Yeah, against Ionia, he's probably fairly weak. Teemo's much, much better. I just don't want to be... Like, I can get Rear Guard in against Inspired Mentors, and it's not that bad, right? He can, you know, either give me a value attack or just not deal with it. And so, I'm okay with this. He would have played nicely here against his Rear Guard, but that's fine.
I'll do better this time.
Who do we play here? The Trifarian won't get the bonus, but do we even really care? I don't think so. Let's just get this Rear Guard in. That'll let us bank a mana for the same amount of power.
Mushrooms.
Okay, that's who we expected. Now the question is, do we want to just kill this with the thermogenic beam, or do we want to play the 2-drop, try to get the 2-drop to trade into his Trifarian and remove this? That just feels a little dangerous. I want to go ahead and just try to kill his big boy here. Like, if things go wrong leaving this up, things go really wrong. And so, you know, if things go wrong, I'd rather just be taking 3 here from this rear guard. It's a pretty good pickup, just curving along the whole way.
I stand for
Sure.
Noxus.
It's a pretty bad crowd favorite. I want to play the Grenadier first because I'm willing to just block stuff with him. I'd rather have the Trifarian for the attack back. Cool, I wasn't even going to block him, so that's nice for us.
Death doesn't scare me.
Right, because blocking this thing is going to stop maximum damage. A block on this, we would still take 2, so it would have taken 5 total in that round. So him not even attacking was pretty great for us. Needing to keep that back on the block is pretty nice. I have to assume he's pretty scared of our Teemo here. He's coming in for big damage.
Fate brings us together.
Now, I wonder if he's going to try to Whirling Death my Teemo. I think I'm just going to let this stuff happen unless he plays cards. Yeah, I'm gonna Whirling Death back. Okay. All in all, that played out okay. Losing Teemo before he flipped is not that great, but he spent 2 cards for our 1 and he has no additional plays to add to the board, and we still got him for the 3 damage. Oh no, that was a pretty good turn for us. And we just redraw Teemo. Not super worried about Green Glade Elder. I'm going to play the Peddler first. See, I don't think he's going to get in combat here, but if he tries to get in combat and do weird stuff, I'd rather him try to shoot down our Peddler. He plays a Zed. I don't think we're super worried about this. I'm going to play Teemo in case he just doesn't attack, but I think we're going to get hit by Zed here.
They followed the wrong master.
Now the question, I think we want to bring this down.
Meddler, not a meddler.
And I think we also want to Mystic Shot this to get just a little bit of value out of the Puffcap things. We don't want this blocking next turn and we're going to open attack.
I've always been a fun guy. My pretty.
Embrace the shadows.
Okay.
Okay, ready.
I'm not going to have a flipped Teemo, but he does have to block with his Zed here. I guess he like doesn't have to, but it's pretty scary for him if he doesn't.
The order.
Okay. See them Puffcaps go to work.
What time is it?
No question. I guess the rear guard doesn't exactly do anything there.
Carve a path.
Okay. I think we're kind of screwed. I'll go ahead and play him, because I'll probably want to Brothers Bond. You may not need to. Oh, he fucked that up. You need to redo those attacks, buddy. There you go. Okay, so we're just gonna have to take 8 from the Trifarian. Oh, okay, well we're just dead. Right. Because we can't block. I guess. Oh yeah, we're super dead. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Maybe we could have played that a little differently to get the Teemo hit to double his Puffcaps. We would have taken a little bit more damage from where we didn't, where we traded with our Puffcap guy, the play a spell. We would have had 3 more Puffcaps of value than our Teemo would have been flipped. But I don't know. I think in hindsight that was still probably the way we'd want to go it. But here, let's see. Let's take a look. I don't want more Whirling Deaths. I already have 3. That's plenty. I want to keep all my 1-drops, at least my good ones. This is a pretty promising trade here. I don't want this Scavenger at all. And I think we're okay without Savage Reckoners. He's okay. This trick isn't the best, but I don't really want to up my curve too much. Whereas this trade here is pretty good. This guy's just a turd. This is round 5. The loser's round 5. So let's see here. This is a pretty reasonable hand. I don't quite want this Grenadier. Yeah, especially against Ionia Shadowlands. They have so many 1-drops that just make him terrible. But otherwise, I'm happy with the Teemo and the other rear guard and things. Not sure who I want to open with. We might be okay to open with Teemo.
You'll thank me later.
Like having our Teemo get Val Feasted suck quite a bit. The other thing that would suck here is if he plays Navori Conspirator. Like if we play Rearguard and he plays Conspirator, that's extremely bad. I think I just want to get in with Teemo and just give up that little bit of aggression.
Adventure starts with mushrooms. Hey, Krabby.
Like duo, that's fine. We can play the Apprentice and then Thermogenic beating it down.
Wow, did you see that?
This is one of the problems with playing decks that are kind of counting on Teemo to do stuff. Is just the elusives are pretty common. We haven't played against the elusives too many times in this run, but if you're going through a run and you play against elusives, 3 or 4 times, it's not surprising. It's just such a common deck. We're gonna have to take a bit of a hit from Zed, but then we should be able to Whirling Death it.
Only the worthy survive.
Out of mana. I'm gonna make you battle him. I'd rather keep him on board than prevent 3 damage. And now I do believe I'm gonna have to open attack again. I'm gonna get this in. I think if he had a Conspirator, he would have probably already played it. But if he takes this trade, it will make all his future Conspirators pretty bad. Which I'm pretty happy with doing. And we're okay with just getting Chump Wump online here.
No greater gift than knowledge.
It will let us flip our Teemo
ways to find me mushroom.
before his next hit. I don't think that'll be very likely. I think we're going to run into another elusive. But the threat of that is pretty big. Oh. So we are just going to get that Teemo hit in. What do we do here? Not real amped about playing these rear guards. I think I just want to play 2 mushroom clouds and then open attack on our turn. Actually, if we're going to get this out, we can block here and then just play both rear guards. Doesn't seem like he's going to have a card.
They won't get past me.
Then what, if he like Will of Ionias on our turn? How scary is that? Like,
Reporting in.
he's investing half his mana and removing Teemo from the board. That seems kind of okay. Not spectacular, but not the worst.
Armed and ready.
Vengeance is kind of the worst. That's too bad. Okay.
Oh, I did my best.
Then we can't play anything. We could technically boost these, but that doesn't feel very good.
Pledge yourself to the shadows.
Ooh, that's a big Zed. Okay, we can let him. Well, I mean, he's going to attack with it. Then we just can't block. So I think we need to go ahead and Harsh Winds now.
What's today's lesson? And punch!
I think he could have attacked with Zed to get a bonus damage in.
Okay, ready.
Okay. Oh, we should. It's unfortunate we don't get a chance to play cards. He's just going to kill us on his turn. There's not going to be anything we can do about it. I mean, I guess I should have Brothers Bonded before he attacked, but yeah, I'm still not used to this. Like, I'm so used to being able to
I'll take it from here.
like attack. They say, "Hey, I'm not going to do anything," and then you get a chance to play cards. Like, it's such a magic thing to happen. But we're just going to die to his board here. We can't do anything. Damn. Because like even I could have, you know, like Brothers Bonded something. I could have represented lethal before I attacked, but I'm just so in the mind frame that you get to play things after they try to block.
Our past are seeds for our future.
They'll never see me coming!
Let's see. Let's see if he overclicks his attack, but we're definitely dead. Yep. That's too bad. I feel like we could have still been in this game. Like, he still would have had good blocks here. We probably would have been dead. But I don't think we would have just been completely out of it this turn. But that's how this deck comes together. It might not be quite good enough. You know, sometimes the decks come together to where you have to play with, you know, the cards you're dealt as far as deck building goes, and I'm just not real high on Teemo in the current meta game. Like, I like the idea behind this deck to where we're being aggressive. You could see like how that panned out that game if we wouldn't have just gotten blown out by Zed. That, you know, we had him at 2 with a bunch of Puffcaps. There's a chance we can just kind of dardle around and kill him with Puffcaps. If we got a Teemo hit in, that would have probably definitely sealed it. But Teemo's so unreliable when, like at least half the decks in the format are elusive decks, because the elusives are just that good. But it was a reasonable run, I guess. We got up to 4 wins. And I hope you enjoyed watching. Let's see what big champion we pull up here. One that we want, Fiora. Okay. There you have it. Thank you for watching.